Hello, viewers. Thanks for stopping by tonight. We'll get started at the top of the hour. Got some soothing music from the Roll20 library for the end of a Thursday. As you're winding down, getting ready for the weekend. But never fear, when the players show up, there will be plenty of shenanigans. How are you guys all doing tonight? And if you're drinking, what are you drinking? I have a whiskey and cola with a whiskey distilled in the oldest city in the lower 48, St. Augustine, Florida. It's not bad, actually. You would think Florida would be too hot and too wet to have anything that could be just distilled into a good spirit, but apparently. while you're waiting for the game to start, I also, in the last week or so, put up some custom things to do with the channel points. So if you're earning points while you watch the stream, you can check out some of the things that I have there. And there's a Nightbot on the stream with most of the standard stuff that Nightbot has. Hey.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Doing all right. Is my mic sound okay?
Yes, it sounds fine.
Perfect.
How has your week been?
I mean, not. So I'm just trying to get through these the next 2 months.
I hear ya. I worked for a number of years with Best Buy, and as you can imagine, gearing up for the season between Halloween and Thanksgiving was all about getting ready for Black Friday. And then the season from Black Friday to Christmas Eve was just wall-to-wall craziness with people coming in all the time, extended store hours, all that kind of stuff. And then right after Christmas, up until kind of between Christmas and New Year's was all the returns and exchange stuff. And then there was another big push just as you were getting ready for Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that wind up buying, upgrading their TV just before the Super Bowl.
And Best Buy is that bad. Just imagine how bad it is with Amazon, especially with the COVID thing where everyone's buying online.
Oh, yeah.
Stores. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have done 90% for the last decade. I've done 90% of my holiday shopping online. And it's just, you can, when you have family that's scattered all over the place, it's so easy just to buy the stuff, have it shipped, buy the stuff, have it shipped, buy the stuff, have it shipped.
Especially when if you just pay $5 a month, they'll ship it to you for free.
Oh yeah, Amazon Prime. It's
I mean, literally, if you think about it,
amazing.
you make sometimes even just one purchase online a month, you're saving.
Oh yeah.
You're spending more than
Yeah.
$5 on shipping on certain sites. So
Well, and the thing, if we are discussing, if we're discussing part of your livelihood, I think that the whole Amazon locker thing has been one of the greatest inventions of all. I live maybe a mile from a Whole Food store, not even a mile. And when, before the COVID lockdown, before we were all working from home, I was so happy when that Amazon locker location opened, because everything I would buy on Amazon, I just have it sent to the Amazon locker. And I still have that as my default shipping location, so that way nothing is sitting on my doorstep while I'm at work and can't come home and
exactly. And you think that's good? Have you heard about the next step? The drones. I don't know if you keep up with it, but Jeff Bezos is putting millions of dollars into AI. A lot of people are thinking, oh, he's trying to learn how to, be some god, basically. But no, what he's doing is he's pushing for the next step, which is going to be, for one thing, his warehouse is going to be basically robot controlled and run. So it's going to save him, millions of dollars. But on top of that, for the consumers, you're literally going to mark a helipad in the back of your yard or wherever it's convenient. He's going to send out AI controlled drones instead of semis or trucks, and it's going to deliver your order. So the people in the warehouse or the robots in the warehouse are going to gather your order. They're going to put it into little packages or whatnot, just like they would a truck, and they're going to put it onto a drone, and that drone is going to literally fly to your backyard or wherever you have your designated helipad, quote unquote, and they're just going to drop it right in your yard.
Yeah, I've seen things, and at the time I saw it, I wasn't sure whether, and I'm still not sure if the actual ad I saw was not some sort of parody when that
Was
idea came
it
out.
about the kids' sports shoes? I think it was soccer. A kid had soccer. His shoes got eaten by the dog. No, that's real. That's real. That's 100% real. That was the first trial.
Oh wow.
We actually had that video play in an all hands meeting at my work. So that is 100%. That's the first test, and that's what they're pushing for. Because if you think about it, the amount of money they're paying to drivers, they're going to save a shitload of money, and that's all going to come back to the consumer. Like, he's literally going to become the thing that everybody's going to buy from Amazon, because the prices are going to be so low, because he's cutting out all the workers. It's going to be, you're paying for the actual object rather than paying for the shipping and handling and the worker. It's going to be the cheapest you can find, and it's going to come right to your back door or your yard or wherever you have that helipad. You can't.
All right. Hey guys, we're finally trickling in here. I'm gonna have to start issuing demerits for people that don't show up on time.
We need to come out with negative inspiration.
Yeah,
where you can spend it to give
no inspiration for you.
Disadvantage whenever you call for it. That would be awesome.
I was here by 8.
Yes, I know. Christmas here, and Ken has now trickled in to the, along with the tumbleweed, into the channel, and we are just waiting on Mike, but we can go ahead and we can get started. Hey everybody, welcome to the Sword Coast Chronicles. This is session 20, and the title of tonight's session is The Road Goes On Forever. Because man, does it feel like we've been on this road for a long, 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 long time. And last time on this long road from Baldur's Gate to Waterdeep, we had a few little encounters that happened. First of all, a few of you guys encountered a golden stag. It was a golden stag that the Axebeak chased away, but the party followed to some ruins, and the stag spoke to them and gave them something of a prophecy that they were on the right track, but that everything would end in blood and not everyone would survive. And the stag also left them a gift, which was a longbow. And I think eventually later in the session we decided that Falager was the one who could best use that bow, but I may be remembering that incorrectly. So as long as somebody has it on their character sheet, that's great. Then they had an uncomfortable issue where Mulek was recognized by someone that the party recognized as a cultist. And the guy was not giving him some warm, fuzzy looks, but there was a night at the camp, and there was some singing, and there was some drunken, some people, breaking the dam after drinking a little bit, and a couple of drunken people got a little bit out of control, as in they started peeing on each other, and that started a fight. And before you know it, this stupid Axebeak shows up, and what do you know? It just killed the guy that was giving Mulek the evil eye. Amazing how that happens. And finally, at the end of the session, on the 3rd of Kythorn, at the midday break, they noticed their friend Jamna Gleamsilver given a lot of attention to some human. And Falager was just able to use the power of suggestion to find out that this person was, in fact, a Red Wizard of Thay who apparently has gotten on the wrong side of Zastam, the lich who rules the magocracy of Thay, a kingdom some 2,000 to 2,500 miles far, far to the east in Faerun. And yeah, this person seems to be hanging out with some of the cultists. So not sure what that's all about. But as we rejoin the group, it is, as I said, midday on the 3rd of Kythorn. You have been away from Baldur's Gate for, this is now the 33rd day. You're expecting at the end of this month, you will pull into Waterdeep. So, anything you guys want to do before we get underway, or shall we go ahead and get started with the session?
So after Falager spoke with the Red Wizard, did any of us notice if Jamna noticed that, or is she still? Can we tell any change in Jamna?
Give me a perception check. $21. That's pretty good. Mulek, you now notice Jamna. She is looking at you, and she very pointedly cuts her eyes towards Falager and then looks back to you, and then she just gives you a little wink and a smile, and she heads on back to the wagon that she normally rides in.
Okay. I'm just going to think on that.
All right. So, the rest of the day passes uneventfully. Just the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth passes uneventfully. And so that means we are now to the next little arrow. And on day 7, you guys are sitting down to have your morning meal, and Jamna Gleam Silver, she comes over to you guys, and she is very careful to get there before you all have taken after you all have taken your bowls of porridge, but before you all have eaten. And she holds up her hands, puts fingers to her lips like you all should be quiet, and motions like you should not eat from your bowls. And then she will come over and sit down next to Mulek, and she will just motion to you to give her your bowl.
Okay, I look at her oddly and hand her my bowl.
Okay. She takes the bowl, and then she looks around as if to see like if the coast is clear. Apparently she thinks it is. She pulls a dagger out of her pocket, and she begins, or not out of the sheath on her belt, and she begins poking around in your in the oatmeal that they are serving this morning. And she picks it out, and you can see on the end of her dagger there's like a little lump, and she just holds the dagger over to where you can inspect what she has found. And she sets the rest of the bowl down, and she pulls the little lump off of the point of her dagger and rolls it between her fingers. And as she rubs the oatmeal off, she shows you what looks like a little sharp white sliver. And she says, "It's bone. It's hidden in the gruel so that you won't notice it. But you swallow enough of it, it'll start poking at your guts, making you bleed inside."
Is it I look at her and kind of motion, is it in all of our group?
And
or just me?
Yeah, she looks around at all of you. She says, I suspect it's in all of your bowls. It was in mine too."
I appreciate you pointing that out, Jenna. Fortunately for us, I do have skills that can feed us. Give me an hour, Jamna, you are included, and I'll feed the rest of you. Do not eat this mess.
Okay.
And Brock is going to storm off and go use his wanderer ability from Outlander to go gather some food.
God
Okay.
damn it. They're trying to poison us. Or kill us.
I think they're trying to kill us. And I don't have to tell you who they are.
Well, what makes you suspect that they're trying to just kill us? What do you think gave us away or has made them suspicious of us?
Well, you remember that I told you that one of my jobs here, in fact, my primary job here, was to try to sneak into the wagons and see exactly what it was that they were trying to conceal. And as it happens, a few nights ago, while Eagle Eyes was asleep, I managed to do just that. I got into one of the wagons. And, you know, funny thing, it seemed like seemed like I wasn't the first person who had been there. Now, I'm not asking you all to tell me. And I'm sure you would deny it if I accused you, but I think it's probably one of you that was in there poking around, probably for similar reasons to why I was. And if I can figure that out, well, now that they have that Faerun wizard with them, you don't think that they could figure that out too? I mean, maybe they can track exactly where certain items are, maybe certain items that they had taken from some of the towns they raided that are no longer in the treasure wagons. And they can sense exactly where those are. That would give them a good idea who had taken it. So, I'm just saying.
Did you find anything interesting? Were you able to abscond with anything in your searching?
Oh, please. I told you, my employers would not stand for me stealing. They would consider it stealing from them. I merely got enough evidence to prove where they had been and where they had taken items from. It's not about monetary value for me. I will be well rewarded by my faction for the information I can give them. But right now, I think for the rest of the journey, I'm going to be watching my back. And I would suggest that you all do the same.
Well, about how far are we out from Waterdeep, you think?
Well, the Caravan master, if you haven't talked to him, he knows these roads very well. He says that on the last day of the month, on the 30th, we will arrive in Waterdeep. So today is the 4th. I presume we have about 26 more days.
Well, that's a long time to watch each other's backs.
Well, there are 5 of us, which means there's 5 sets of eyes and 5 backs to watch. When Robin Hood gets back with wherever he's gone off to do, maybe we could decide who's watching who's back.
Well,
You just sort of have a buddy system.
how long would it take for us to meet our demise if we continued eating this here porridge? And yeah,
Oh, I don't know. The porridge itself may not even kill you. It might just weaken you to the point that it would be easy for them to give you something that would make you sick and it would look like you died of natural causes.
what I'm getting at is if we kept up this charade, how much time would that buy us?
Okay. She looks at you like she's a little confused. I'm sorry. What charade?
What I'm saying is if we pretend to keep eating this crap, maybe they'll leave us alone until they think that it'll take to get us weak.
Oh, yeah. By all means, act like you're eating it. Of course. Don't raise suspicions. But if they do intend us harm, I would expect that to come before we reach Waterdeep. And who knows? Crazy cultists like this, who knows what lengths they would go to see their enemies hurt or killed.
All right, then.
Mulek just looks around and whistles. Hums to himself. Yeah, I guess we just got to keep an eye on one another.
Very well. Okay, so Brock, you have no problem. I'm not even gonna make you.
I was actually going to ask you about this. Like, it's the wanderer ability is very specific, but it leaves a lot of gray area. I was wanting to know if maybe could I make a roll to see how good or bad my excavator is? Like,
Okay. You can find food and fresh water for yourself up to 5 other people each day, provided land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. Where we are right now, you really don't even have to make a roll. I mean, this is well-traveled area, and there's game trails that crisscross the road, and the forest is not that far off to the one side. Maybe a couple of miles, but there's all kinds of like rabbits and things like that are fox and even deer and stuff like that are in this grassland area here. So you can easily find game and shrubs. There's wild berries and wild
that was my
trees
concern,
and stuff.
actually. Who's to say that I don't come back with 5 mushrooms rather than a whole deer?
Okay, yeah. I mean, you could go ahead and make a roll. Just roll me a d20, and we'll see what. And add your whatever your. What would it be? Is that tied to your wisdom?
I'd say survival, right, or nature.
Survival. Yeah. Okay, so survival.
Which is wisdom, right? I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, you can just make a survival check.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay, well, you don't find any deer, but you manage to catch a trio of rabbits, and you catch them because they were trying to nibble on a wild blueberry bush. So you managed to get some blueberries. There were a few herbs growing around there, so you can harvest those herbs. get a small bag full of blueberries and bag these 3 rabbits that you can come back with. It takes you, you're back just as people are setting about starting to strike the camp. So you know that if you dress the game, you'll have them ready to cook for lunch. People might, people probably have their rations and things like that they can eat between now and lunchtime. But then you can cook up something for lunch.
Do I see Falazier and Mulek gathered in any certain area?
They're just kind of with the wagons that they normally are with. There are. You guys normally have a habit. The 4 of you normally have a habit of eating breakfast together, and so as the camp starts to, as people start to strike the camp for the night, they kind of go off towards their assigned wagons, to help with the chores of getting the wagon ready for the day, just like they normally would.
So
clearly,
as I come back, I'll approach the fire at the back of the wagon that I take, and I'll kind of sit down and start dressing and setting up the fire, and I'll let off a familiar whistle. I'm sure Mulek is familiar with it because we've kind of pushed out together with each other.
Okay. All right.
Not to draw it out or anything, but I'll just invite him into the fire, and I'll let him know that, hey, I can do this every day. We're not going to starve. Don't eat that bullshit, and we'll be okay.
Okay. So then, advancing to about lunchtime that day, Jamna will come around again, and you guys can decide amongst yourselves, and we'll just tell Doors of Fear he gets whatever's left over. So when it comes to the 4 of you and the NPC kind of watching out for each other, do you guys have a preference of how you'll handle that?
Are you talking about the sustenance?
No. I presume you didn't actually go away from the computer. I was talking about the arrangements that Jamna was talking about. We're just watching out for each other because the cult probably means harm to all of you, the 4 of you and her.
Yeah, well, I know Mulek and Dorsifir are working together on the same wagon. And I think Brock and Falazier, you guys are working together, right? You guys guarding the same wagon?
If you were to ask me, I would have said there's 5 of us here, including Jamna. We need to split off Singularity. If we were to pair up, we're not going to be able to stay up all night. I think that we have to have someone up, awake at all times. That's my personal opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
That would help, I imagine.
And Jamna says, well, as a gnome, I'm blessed with dark vision, and people usually can't find me during the day, so I can always get most of my rest while we are traveling during the day. So I can take one of the watches at night.
I am right there with the Jamna. I do have dark vision myself. I think that between the 2 of us, we can cover the darkness at night, and that'll give us 12 hours, and then the rest can fill in the blanks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind taking a watch either. I've got some friends that can help out.
And she says, I think it would be good to have at least 3 of us on watch rotation. You don't want to be tired in the morning, Master Brock, and have them be able to slip something past you.
Okay, so if we were to split the day into 8 hours, that gives 3 shifts. There's 5 of us here. Someone's got to take a shift alone. I'm more than willing to do that myself, if need be. What do you propose?
And she looks at Brock, and she gives Brock a wink, and she bats her eyes in a very exaggerated, coquettish manner, and she says, "Well, big boy, what would you say about having a girlfriend?"
I would say that even though May could have possibly saved our lives previously, I still don't trust you.
Oh, and I don't trust you either. The being your girlfriend is not for your benefit, but just to explain why I'm spending so many of my evenings in your wagon.
Uh, Trust me, little one. You couldn't handle me.
And she looks at you and she says, "Well, if I weren't 131 years old, I might take that as a challenge. But since I'm old enough to be your great grandmother, I might take that as a reason to wash your mouth out with soap. The point is, if you allow people to think they see what they think they see, it is much easier then for us to keep our eyes open and watch out for each other."
Okay. I'm going to tell you how this is going to break down because I'm bored with this talk. As I said before, there's 3 shifts, 8 hours apiece, in a 24-hour cycle. There's 5 of us, including you. I'm going to watch Twilight Zone. If you want to join me in that era, sure. The other 4 of my party are going to take the other 2 shifts, but you are not to be alone and responsible for our safety.
Well, very well. Okay, that sounds acceptable to me. And then she spins on her heel, and she goes back to her wagon as the lunch hour is done.
As I see her kind of march out before she does so, I'll kind of like shove into her little side her rations that I accumulated.
Oh,
She is
okay.
part of our 5, so I can take care of her and feed her.
Okay. She thanks you, and she seems genuinely appreciative. All right. Well, let's see. That's day 7. So 6, 7, 8. Okay. Do, 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 do. 2, 6. Okay. So then 7, 8, 10, 14.
Speaking to the players, somebody has to watch alone. So I would again reiterate, I would take the midnight twilight watch myself. If you guys want to pair off into 2 groups, that's cool.
Yeah, Brock, you don't necessarily have to watch alone. I can have Casper watch with you during your shift.
Perfect. Give me an overhead view, sure.
Yep, and I'll just tell him to alert you to any if it smells or sees or hears anything out of the ordinary.
Now he is not a beast, right? He's a spirit or something.
Yeah, he's a fey owl.
Otherwise, I would be able to talk to him. That's unfortunate. Maybe I'll get a little pet or something.
I'm working on arranging it so that you guys all have your own fey creature, but it's going to take me a while. I'm not yet powerful enough to do that.
Perhaps Casper
Interesting.
is able to find me a mate of his own if he's able to disguise his essence.
All right. Well, everything goes along quietly. You all do occasionally see suspicious activity where you could swear there are members of the cult that are kind of looking at you guys, but you all are very much on your on your guard, and they don't have a chance to try anything. And it eventually it comes to the 25th, the morning of the 25th. Who would be on watch in the pre-dawn? Usually.
Probably me. Probably Mulek.
Okay. I'm going to give you, and since you would have Bandit out. No, Casper. This one is Casper. Bandit was the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you have Casper out, you can let him do this as well. Make me a perception check in the last hour before dawn. Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, Casper notices something suspicious by one of the cult wagons. You notice, or Casper notices that someone who is apparently standing watch by the wagon suddenly they go rigid, and then they collapse and fall over.
So he sees one of the cultists by the wagon go rigid and fall over?
Well, somebody by one of the wagons that you have identified as a cultist wagon. And I would presume that with all the time you've had, you kind of have him especially pay attention to those wagons. And so it's somebody that's apparently standing watch there. And then as that happens, he sees a figure move away from that wagon and go to one of the other cultist wagons and go inside.
I assume I'm sleeping near the rest of my party.
Well, you would be taking your morning watch near the rest of your party, yeah, I presume.
Yeah. I'm gonna shake him awake and tell him, just in like hushed tones, say something's not right. Someone just appears to have taken out one of the cultist watches at one of the wagons.
Who are you shaking awake?
You and Dorsifir and Falager. I would have shaken all of you guys, like shaking you guys awake to alert you that something's not right. Something's going down.
Explain.
Damn nabbit. What's going on?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you as you go to alert everybody. You alert Brock. You alert Falliger. You alert Dorzafir. And there's no Jamna.
There's no Jamna. I have a sneaky suspicion that Jamna is up to something right now.
What makes you think that?
Bandit saw a figure do something to one of the cultist watchmen at the wagon up over there. But,
please, we have time. Explain fully, please.
That I am. There was some figure came out and caused one of the cult guards to go rigid and fell over. And then quietly snuck away back over to that other cultist wagon, and I point over to the direction of where Bandit last saw the figure.
So you think she's making a move on one of the wagons?
Either her or someone else, but Jamna's not here, so I'm thinking it might be her. I'm not sure what she's doing.
We've seen that funny mage, recently.
Well, why don't we get a little bit closer and find out?
Why don't we take a seat outside that wagon and wait for whoever comes out?
All right. Should probably be quiet. And I'll have Bandit, so I'm going to have Bandit take a high watch over that wagon.
Okay. And as you guys start to reach this plan, before you can leave your own wagon, there is a cry that goes up from the cultist wagon. Murder! Murder! He's been murdered! And you see people start scrambling out of wagons, and people start rushing over towards this wagon. And, Bandit can quickly relay or let you observe that, yes, this is indeed at the wagon where you saw the figure fall over.
Okay. In the commotion, can I? No, never mind. We'll continue to, I guess, run up to see what's going on. At least I would. I imagine we're all doing that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So as you come up, you in fact do see a body that is laying there on the ground, and there are a lot of people gathered around it, and you see that there is a dark pool as of blood by the body. And I just want to take a look at it. Okay, so we got that. We've got this. Okay. Okay. There always has to be one knucklehead that does things differently. Okay. All right. 2 knuckleheads in this case. So let's go to here, and let's go to here, and let's let's go to... Oh, phooey. Wrong. Okay, there we go.
Brock, what do you think? What do you think of this?
To be honest with you, I'm still waking up. I'm gonna take your lead on this one.
And
What in the hell happened to this guy? And I kind of like yawn a little bit.
That's not the wizard, is it?
no, it is not. Equipment. Okay, and then equipment.
Keep your heads on a swivel, guys. Feel good.
As you guys all approach, and it's a damn shame that he's not here to defend himself, but that's his problem for being absent without permission. As they get close, or as you guys get close, fingers point out towards Faldor, and they say, "There, check his blade. I bet he did it." And Faldor has a short sword in a scabbard on his hip. And as far as you guys know, he's been there asleep all night. And they one of the cultists says, "Yeah, he's got the beady eyes of a no good thief. I bet he was trying to steal something, and old Bob here caught him, and he killed him for it. I bet that's what happened."
That man's asleep. Not only that, but he saved your lives. He gave you free passes back at the end. You really think he would turn on you now?
Oh, well, the best cons are the people who pretend to be your friends. And are you going to stand here and listen to this? This guy says, and he's addressing not only the cultists but the other merchants and everything. And the merchants are they're looking at Faldor like, what? And they're looking at these cultists like, okay, something's wrong here. They're like, well, friend, do you have any evidence? I mean, the man's weapon is in his scabbard. Well, make him pull it out. See if it's bloody. And the caravan master, he says, "What in the hell is going on here?" And so the cultist starts talking about, pointing to the guy dead and then pointing to Thaldor.
I'm actually going to make my way over to Thaldor. I'm going to pull his sword out of his scabbard and hold it up. Is it bloody?
Nope. It is not bloody.
Show it to everybody.
And also with the... I'm not even going to make you roll for this because you grew up military man, grew up looking at things. You can tell a freshly oiled and freshly cleaned blade. Thaldor is just not that kind of guy. If this blade has seen an oil rag in the last week, that's probably good. The last time he probably oiled it down was after he had to use it in battle last. So it's not even like the blade has been freshly cleaned.
I rub my hands along the blade and kind of point that out, knowing that it probably won't make sense to most people.
Yeah. Well, there are a few of the merchants' guards. They look at you and they nod. It's like a few of these old campaigners that have been on the road for years. They probably were soldiers at one point in a past life before they took this up, and they kind of, they can. It's like sort of game recognizes game. They recognize you're somebody who knows what they're talking about, and so they and then they kind of turn and sort of cock their heads at the cultists, and the cultists are going on and spewing these accusations at Thaldor, and then the caravan master says, all right, you bloody lot. What are you? You have no evidence here. This blade has not been cleaned. It doesn't have any blood on it. You're going to have to come up with something better than that. And you lot get on my nerves. You complain about things too much. You want things done a certain way. You never want to pull your weight along with the rest of the merchants and the rest of the guards, always giving us more trouble. I don't know. Maybe I would be inclined to think that your man had a fight with another one of your men, maybe had a gambling debt that he wouldn't pay, and this is the pains he got for it. I'm not inclined to suspect somebody who has been helping to keep this caravan safe ever since we left Waterdeep, who has helped us when we have encountered dangers on the road, and listen to you lot complain yet again. I think you'd better come up with better evidence if you want to accuse somebody of murder. That's a very serious charge. And he says, but you see, the man is dead. Yes, I see the man is dead. If I had any suspicion you were behind it, I would clap you in irons. And the cultist sort of sputters and, looks absolutely incensed. And, is just sort of flustered. And then a couple of the other cultists, they come over and they tell the caravan master, they say, well, you look here, dwarf. When we get to Waterdeep, we are going to give your company a very poor review of the way you handle your business. How can you call yourself a caravan master if you let this kind of thing happen on your watch? And
you've lost 2 of your own the last 2 fortnights, am I correct?
And the fellow who was speaking turns to you and says, what of it?
Sounds like a you problem, not an us problem.
And when you say that, a few of the other caravan guards that are part of the other merchant wagons, you hear them all chuckle. And, it's like, clearly this cult hasn't been winning a whole lot of friends among other people on the caravan.
As far as reviews are concerned, the good people that are on this caravan will give highly reviews of this caravan master. So I'm sure that yours are going to be ignored, if heard, even at all. Take care of your own, stay alive, and maybe you'll make it to the next waypoint. How about that?
And he looks at you and he says, don't talk to me, half-breed. And turns and walks away.
Bro, just hold his head high.
The dwarf looks at where the guy is going, and as the guy walks past, he just sort of spits on the ground at his heels, and then gives you an exasperated look and shakes his head.
I got a question, Callie. What is the racial makeup of most of the what we call the cult? Are they mostly human or?
They're mostly human. A few people that you'd probably would suspect are half elves. They back at the camp, you had seen a couple of tieflings and obviously half elves and dragonborn and things like that, but you haven't seen any of those on the caravan itself.
Did the obvious half elves have any reaction to the comment he just made?
No. Anybody who you all have identified as a cultist, they all sort of uniformly give you guys suspicious looks. Like they think you must somehow have something to do with it. Speaking up against their accusations almost proves that you're somehow you were somehow involved in this crime. That's sort of the look they have. They're like a bunch of Scientologists staring down a New York Times reporter.
Brock is literally asking himself to restrain himself from going into a rage, and he's going to look over to Mulek and be like, I can't make sense of it. Help me.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not sure what just occurred, but I know it wasn't one of us.
Lucky for us, the people don't believe it. We've made a name for ourselves, and that will hold. But I think that we've drawn a line in the sand, and that these cultists are now against us. Maybe we'll talk about this later, but I don't know how long this can go on.
I mean, we're getting close to Waterdeep, so
our goal is to follow the treasure and find their next lead, but
yeah,
we might have to do it from a distance.
Do we need them alive to do this?
Do we need to know what?
Do we need them alive to do this, to carry on? Because I guarantee you they're going to look for our soft spot in our throats.
Well, I mean, we need to keep them alive because when they check in at
Waterdeep.
Yeah. They're going to need to. It's going to need to look like everything's all right. That way we can continue.
Well, what if we just capture them all? We just hold them all prisoner and we interrogate them, find their master, their next lead, and follow that. Do we need them alive?
Well, I mean, that stag out in the woods said we were on the right trail to just continue following this group. It didn't say anything about, kill them all. I'd be hesitant to be that rash.
I agree. At the same time, I'm a military man. When I step on the field of battle, my enemy's in front of me and I kill them. And it's that simple. This is something totally different.
I think we need to continue playing the long game here. I don't know. I think we need to resist as much as we can. We still have a little bit of wiggle room. I mean, I agree. It's tightening up, but.
Well, from what I can see, they're going to keep trying to make us the bad men. I think we need to build relationships with the rest of the caravan. I think we did a good thing back there with the inn, but I think that we need to maintain that.
Yeah, as you guys are talking, Falliger for sure, but all the rest of you as well, you notice a couple of people standing. They're being careful to stand far enough away that they are outside of where they could hear what you all are saying to each other as you're clearly having a private conversation. But they're also standing in such a way that is making it very obvious that they are there and interested in talking to you.
Who is that?
These are members of the caravan, not cultists.
Correct. These are a couple of caravan guards, and they are human males, and
Brock, you want to call that group over?
I'm going to wave them over, and at the same time, I want to make a loud whistle. And looking at the caravan master, as soon as I make eye contact with him, if he does look at me, I'll wave him over.
Okay. 2 human caravan guards are. I'm putting names here in the
Discord.
Yeah. Okay. The 2 human caravan guards are Alan Rohu and Agrath Versk. And they come over and they walk up to towards your group. And Brock, you can clearly see the way these guys carry themselves. They are ex-soldiers, and they kind of come up, and when they get up to you, it's almost like they sort of snap to attention, and they give you curt nods, and they say, Captain, seems like you and your friends may have come under some unwanted attention from those fools. And he kind of nods his head in the direction of the cultists. And he says, if you need eyes to watch your back, you can count on us.
Where did you serve?
And the one says, well, I served in the armies under the command of a paladin of Tyr, down in Port Nyanzaru, of all godforsaken places. I was down there for 2 years, did a tour of duty. It was an honor to serve the church, but as soon as I could come back north, I did. And the other man says, and I was a naval officer at sea. I served on a ship that was commanded by the naval captains of Waterdeep. And the last voyage out, we fought a horrible sea monster, like to have nearly sank the ship. And I swore when I got back to dry land that I would never set my foot on the deck of a boat again. So I became a caravan guard.
Looking at the first man, so you served a paladin, so your intentions are good. You're interested in the best for all people. Am I mistaken?
That's correct, sir.
Now look at the second person. What is your opinion of Captain Durdamat?
And the second person gives you a look like he's not quite sure who you're talking about.
The most famous captain of all the Sword Coast, the one who takes down all the pirates and frees the people to trade and make business. What do you think of him?
Oh, he says, well, anyone who does for pirates is good in my book. We had to protect the shipping lanes because the Sword Coast got its name from all the pirates that are out on the islands that want to hit the shipping lanes between Luskan and Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and on down towards Port Nyanzaru even.
Okay. We could use some help, definitely in the days to come. I've been notified that the food that you're being given is not safe to eat. I would advise not doing so. If you're hungry, I can help with that. Just let me know. You're free to travel to our camp anytime you need to speak or anything. If you need help with anything, we could use your help.
Very good. Those folk, they always, something about them has always seemed a bit wrong to me. They've been giving you trouble for long?
Unfortunately, I cannot give any sort of information about our safekeeping or our dealings in the past, but I can assure you that we are safe here, and if you ally yourself with us, you are safe as well. They are not to be trusted, and we will handle them in short time.
And they look and they say, the way they look cross-eyed at everyone who's not part of their group, I wouldn't trust any of them as far as I could throw them.
They are to be feared. They mean us no well-being. Stay away from them. Do not speak to them. If you can, have a man at your station on watch at all times. And if you need help with that again, come to us and we'll help.
We will. Well, also just wanted to say that we appreciate, and the merchants we work for appreciate the way that you all have always stepped up every time something has threatened the caravan on the road. You're good folk, and we have to stick together.
Aye. Now, who else is in your wagon? Can you speak to the other men?
And they look at each other and they say, well, we'd rather not. Most of the other guards on our wagons, we think, probably got conscripted as a means of avoiding jail time.
I'm not asking if they're evil. I'm just asking if they're okay. Can you trust them? Are they decent people?
Oh, they'll follow orders quickly enough. They know that if they fail, they're headed back to a prison cell. So one of them has at least a year left to serve on his contract, and the others considerably longer.
I'll speak to the caravan master as soon as I can, and your wagon, will be positioned directly behind us. And you can speak to our friend here, Mulik, to take up watches.
Very well. All right, and so they thank you all, and they give you a crisp little salute, and they go back to their wagons, and then we'll say that you do have a chance to talk to the caravan master, and he is happy to arrange for their wagon to move up so that it's right behind your guys' wagon. And So the merchant that they are with is a merchant that is carrying all kinds of fine linens and silks, and is going to be selling those in the markets in Waterdeep. And so it's quite a expensive load on that wagon, because it's just bolts and bolts and bolts of silk and fine fabrics. And so for the rest of that day, you don't see Jamna. There is a quick thing where a group of people, the cultists really don't get any help from anybody else, so they're forced to do it all themselves. They take the body of the dead man off and bury it over near the verge of the woods, and then they come back, and they're not gone very long, so you don't think they could have dug a grave that's really all that deep. In fact, you might not be surprised, or you wouldn't be surprised if they hadn't just sort of found a depression, thrown him in it, and dug up a bunch of dirt and thrown it over him and called that a burial.
Hey, Mulek.
Yeah.
The time they spent burying that body, they didn't bury him very deep. I'd like to get a good look at the body and see the cause of death. Think you can help with that?
Help you determine the cause of death?
Correct.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I could probably help you.
I can dig it up, or you can dig it up. I think it's better if I dig it up and you cause a distraction. Maybe we'll do it late at night, and you can have Casper watch over, if anything.
What time of day is it right now? Are we getting ready to
Well,
leave?
this was morning, and striking the camps got delayed because they had to go bury it. But the caravan is supposed to get moving pretty soon and get going. Now, if you guys want to do that, you might be able to talk your new friends into sort of keeping an eye on your wagon, and let you catch back up later in the day. But you would almost have to, find somewhere to lay low until the wagons leave, and then go inspect the body, and then catch back up to the wagons later in the day. Now, the wagons only move like 15 miles in a day, so it's fairly easy to catch up to them.
I think the way this breaks down is pretty simple and straightforward. I take the night watch. If the caravan's moving out, they're probably moving out during the day, so I'm just going to have to miss this shift of sleep. I'll stay back when the caravan leaves, dig up the body and investigate, and then run back after I'm done. And then I'll just have what do you call it? A level of exhaustion, right?
Okay. If you have been on a normal cycle, the way I like to play it is if you lose one sleep cycle, it's not going to be a level of exhaustion. But if you lose 2 in a row, then you start hitting levels of exhaustion. So I think if you're just going to skip one sleep cycle, you're not going to get a level of exhaustion. You might get disadvantage on some skill checks or things like that, but you won't, mechanically, you won't take exhaustion. And I wouldn't say that's disadvantage across the board. I would just say, like, if you are trying something really super difficult, then I might, just because I'm that kind of DM, I might throw disadvantage your way as a penalty.
Brock, how's your animal handling skills?
Good.
I'm
your type of animals kind of out of my reach.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple of large animals, but I don't know if you'd be able to ride them or not.
Are they spiritual in nature?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Casper, I couldn't have a conversation that I thought I could have. You're a different beast. I
Well, I
think
mean,
I'll
I
be
could.
fine.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I can tell them to be your
Is
mount.
is Mulek? Actually, that might work. Is Mulek wagoned up with Valzure? Am I mistaken? Or I'm sorry, Mike. What's
Thaldor.
Mike's?
Yeah, I'm with
Thaldor. Hey Mulek, if you could, if Thaldor's going to be in your wagon, if you could watch over mine while I'm gone, that could help.
All right, I'll keep an eye on your wagon.
I'll be back. I'll bring food when I come back. Just be ready to eat.
All right. You want, well, just be careful, man. You're going to be on your own.
I give a nod.
All right. See you soon.
All right. So you're going to wait until the wagon pulls out and then go try to check out the body?
Basically, I'm going to act like I'm going off for a piss out in the woods, and then I'm just going to stay there until the wagon leaves and then go dig up the body.
Okay. All right.
And I'm telling the guys on the wagon that he's with that Brock had an issue to deal with. He'll be catching up later, and I'm watching the wagon for him.
Okay. All right. They kind of nod, and so the caravan moves off. Brock, you are a good enough tracker that it doesn't take you hardly any time at all to find make your way over to where the body is. And you can see that, yes, indeed, it was, they kind of dug maybe a 6 or 8 inch pit in the ground, and they threw the body in there, and then they just dug up a bunch of dirt from around it and threw it on top of it. And looks like they piled it high enough that it would cover the body so that it wouldn't stink, but that's basically all they did. They didn't really take much time to give this guy much of a burial at all.
I'm going to dig up the body and kind of lay it flat, kind of brush off the dirt and investigate it.
Okay. While you are digging up the body, make me a perception check.
Roger that.
Oh, okay. Then let me do this. Okay, and that is that. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay. All right. As you are digging up, you notice a figure behind a tree. Apparently trying to hide, but not doing a good enough job of it to avoid your detection. A figure that seems kind of curious about what you are up to.
What am I doing as when I notice this? Am I digging or am I?
You're digging up the body.
All right. Well, I'm still like shoveling the dirt carefully and kind of moving dirt. I just say without even looking over my shoulder, "Your presence is known. If you wish to speak, step forward."
And a familiar gnome voice says to you, "What you doing?" And it is Jamna Gleamsilver. And that is where we are going to take our break. I have 20 after the hour. Let's go ahead and break for 10 minutes. And we will be back at the bottom of the hour. And we will see what it is that Jamna Gleamsilver wants to find out from Brock. Well, the two of them are out here all alone on the edge of the forest.
Hey, Gallivan.
All right. Yes.
While we're gone, can you look at Bag of Tricks for me really quick? I reread it. It doesn't say anything about the creatures being magical. It just says that it's or it just says they're creatures. But can you look over that and let me know if what your take is on those?
Okay, so like, would they? You're asking, would they be like fey or spiritual in the same way that Casper is?
Yeah, because it doesn't say they are, and it just says it says in absence of a command.
Yeah, Casper's not a beast, but these could actually be.
They say,
Okay.
yeah, they say that they're creatures. So if you could just look at that, let me know, because maybe there's more we can use these than what I am saying.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, I will take a look at that before we get started then. All right.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm going to put the music on, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
I made it.
Welcome, Mike. How you doing?
I feel like a Mack truck hit me.
I'm disappointed.
I might be late, but I still showed up.
You gotta quit that late night game, brother.
Shit. Yeah, me and Ken all night. No, I didn't get to lay down till 4:30. I had to go to the store and get my kids some diapers, but 4:30, and then I slept through my alarm. So I'm glad I woke up now instead of 2 hours from now.
You guys are playing that Divinity?
Yeah, we're playing the original Divinity.
Can't blame you there. It's a great game. So good.
Yeah, the first one is it wasn't so great until they came out. I mean, it was so glitchy until they came out with the enhanced edition, and then it was a really good game.
It's so good. There's so much you can replay that game 50 times, and
then because he's fucked on his schedule now I got to keep him up all night.
and he's fucking you because you're tired. Too.
Oh,
Hey, as long as you're having fun, man.
Yeah.
all-
Right. We're just banging each other. It works wonderful.
It's worth it.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Go refill my drink. Be right back.
Hey, Mike, you there?
Yeah, James, how you doing?
Hey, good. Did you get caught up on what's happened?
I'm still like in between asleep and awake. So what's up? So I see that he's digging up a body. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, so we're getting close to Waterdeep. We've accelerated our travel, and then one evening on watch, Casper noticed one of the cultists go stiff and fall down, and so I alerted the party. We went over, and the cultist started yelling, "He's dead! He's dead!" And Bandit also saw a figure leave and go into one of the other cultist wagons. And so then the cultists tried to blame you actually for killing the guy. And Brock pulled out your sword and held it up to show that there was no blood on it. And and actually before this, Jamna warned us that they were trying to slowly weaken us by putting bone shards in our porridge.
yeah.
Wow.
So Brock started hunting for us and providing food while we pretended to eat the porridge and the food that they gave us, but we didn't. Then they accused you of killing the guy. We proved that wrong. And so the cultists, it's starting to get pretty dicey with the cultists now. They're starting to show that they're not too friendly towards us. And so we started keeping watch over each other. And so the caravan just departed. Brock wanted to stay behind and go inspect the body, and so that's where we're at. He's digging it up, and then Jamna has appeared.
Okay. I didn't miss too much. Thank you, friends, for showing that I didn't kill somebody.
Yeah, we were watching out for you.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you, you've got Mage Hand Ledger Domain, right? Oh no, you don't have that. You're not an arcane trickster.
I'm not an arcane trickster rogue. I'm a mastermind rogue.
That's right. Okay, so I've got one of the magic items that I have is Crown of the Forest, and I have no idea how it's going to be useful. And I almost did, but I haven't because I'm not very stealthy. I have disadvantage on stealth checks. But I've got Mage Hand. But since you're more sneaky than I was one of the things I was thinking about, and I would have had conversations with you during the long caravan rides that we've been having.
Yeah, because me and you are on the same
yes.
Same one. Yeah.
Yep. And we've been traveling it's been days that we've been traveling, and I would have been picking your brain on if you think it would be a good idea to stash this Crown of the Forest in one, like the leader of this cultist wagon caravan, to like kind of plant it in his wagon or something, because they've been Jamna has discovered that someone has been sneaking around their wagons and possibly has taken stuff, but she didn't say who. She doesn't know who. She didn't say that she knows it's me. And so I was thinking about planting this one magic item in like the leader of the cult wagon, so that if they do start looking around, we could
throw sus on them. I got
yes, yeah, and then have that discovered. Just as an option, right? Because I'm not sure what's going to happen when we get to Waterdeep, or if they try to find these items. I'm not sure what's going to take place. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but we would have to be stealthy enough to plant that in the guy's wagon.
I could do it with your help. You have Mage Hand, right?
I have Mage Hand, but it's not invisible, so it'd be,
Yeah.
If they were looking, they'd see this spectral hand holding, a bag, right? So it'd have to be done with either a distraction. I mean, I wouldn't have dared do it unless there was already a distraction taking place. If you were to do it, we don't have any kind of invisibility. You would just have to pretty much stealth your way in there.
That's not a problem.
I've got horrible stealth, so.
Yeah, that's when the dragon was flying over. I know that for damn sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. Think about that. Just if we see an opening somewhere, maybe we'll try to pull it off with some type of distraction. But that's kind of something I've been thinking about.
Put it this way.
Maybe doing.
James, my stealth is +9. My sleight of hand is +7.
I mean, if I'm close enough to you when it happens, I could, pull a little chronal shift magic,
True.
But I'd have to be within 30 feet of you when it happens. So I don't know if we take another late night stroll sometime, like we did before, and I could maybe cause a distraction.
That would be smart. Take your Mage Hand and catch something on fire or something.
Yeah, or maybe one of my creatures could cause a distraction.
There you go. Bag of tricks. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That would give me time to sneak it into the head one.
Yeah.
Oh man. Me and Kenny over there partied a little too hard.
You'll be all right. You're gonna have to stay up all night, dude. You got to keep your schedule, or you're gonna be really fucked.
I'll try.
What do you mean you'll try?
If I pass out on you, don't feel bad.
You got to get some coffee, get some cigarettes.
Packs of cigarettes. I'm good there.
But get some coffee.
I got a coffee maker.
All right, guys. I am back, and I am looking at the I'm
Bag of
looking at
tricks?
this bag of tricks thing. So I'm just gonna leave the music running while I'm looking at that. And meanwhile, chat. If you guys have any questions for us, let us know. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Bag of tricks. Transforms into a creature. Okay. Okay. Now, what's instructive here is that if you go to the bag of tricks and you look at the results under the creature column, you have the tan bag, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you hover over each of the creatures,
Mm-hmm.
what it tells you is it tells you that those are beasts. So they are not fae, they are not celestial, they are just animals that are somehow summoned by the bag from somewhere.
A zoo.
Maybe, but they are beasts.
Okay.
So they that they would work for any abilities of yourself or other party members that rely on things being beasts. They would qualify for that template.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've learned through doing it's something that they've always done in D&D, but through doing the Monster Monday, is that every creature has a type. There's a creature type in D&D for everything, and a beast is just mostly it's a natural animal, but because it's D&D, it sometimes is a natural animal for the fantasy environment. So they're not always like real world creatures, but they're supposed to be just critters, basically. All right.
And anything, and a medium, like I could try to ride a large beast, correct? A medium could try to ride.
Medium creature could try to ride a large beast. If it's a four-legged beast, then of course you could try to ride it on its back. If it's a two-legged beast or something that walks more upright, then that's a little bit of a different scenario.
Right.
You might have to do some things, but we are going to go ahead and go back to our map here, and I am going to move our ribbon. Where am I going to move our ribbon? I don't know. Do any of you guys run any campaigns on Roll20 at all? Or are you just playing other campaigns?
I started one, but I haven't ran it yet.
Well, they did something a few weeks ago that I've noticed. They have changed the way the way the page toolbar works. It used to be that the page toolbar would have just a single row of pages and it would stretch out ad infinitum, and you just have to keep scrolling right and right and right and right and right. Well, now they've changed it so that it's multiple rows. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 items each. So you just have multiple rows that you scroll down to find all the pages. It makes it easier to find the pages, but it was a little disconcerting the first time I saw what's going on here. But all right. Speaking of what's going on here, Brock, and you have not been in a fight, so you are at full health. You are digging up this cultist body, and you notice Jamna over there poking her head around the side of a tree, looking at you. And she says, well, what you doing?
You know exactly what I'm doing, Jamna. I must say it's very interesting to find you here.
Well, we're supposed to watch each other's backs, right?
Sure. You wouldn't happen to know what happened to this guy, this fella, would you?
Looks like he died and got buried. Question is, why are you digging him up?
Cut the bullshit, Jamna. You know exactly why I'm here. I'm looking to find out how he died. See, the cultists are trying to make us the bad guys, so I need some evidence, something to provide that shows us the opposite. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Well, now, think about what happened back there. The cultists made accusations against you, and nobody believed them because they have seen with their own eyes the way you all have acted to protect the caravan, whereas these cultists have been sourpusses, to put it lightly. The only time I've ever seen them do anything is when they thought it would benefit them. And the last time was way back at that roadhouse where those fool lordlings were trying to keep the whole place for themselves. And the cultists thought it was a great opportunity to just steal their equipment, along with the solution that you all came up with of sending them off in the rain with no possessions. And that innkeeper was so nice, he even gave those fools their money back. Too bad that they didn't get to keep that because the cultists found it.
You made a life manipulating people. You know how they work, as do I. All it takes is for them to flip one person, then they flip one person, they flip one person. Next thing we know, we're being outed. I'm just taking precaution. That's it.
Well, and you see, that's kind of the unfortunate part. You're looking for evidence. And I'll give it to you. You have a sharp eye. When you look for evidence, you're going to find something pretty incriminating. And she puts a hand on the hilt of what for a gnome looks like it would be probably a gnome-sized longsword, which on a human would be a short sword.
Cut the bullshit, Gemna. If you killed this man, just tell me. You're my ally. We'll make it work. I'm not against you.
You're not?
Not if you're the person you say you are. No.
Convince me. And the mystical voice of the universe says to Brock, make a persuasion check that you are being honest with her.
I've never hid the person I am, Gemna. I am who I say I am. I am who I act as I am. This is me. You're my ally. Or are you?
And she gives you a good look, and she says, "Very well." And she takes her hand off the hilt of her blade. She says, "You'll find that his wound matches my blade.
Why?
That one was onto me. That one suspected I was the one that had been rifling around in the wagons. He had tried to make others think that it was me, and they wouldn't believe him. But he threatened me. And I told him the last time we spoke that that was the last threat he was going to make. I just wanted him to know I'm someone who keeps my word."
I can stand behind that. We're now less one cultist. However, look at us now. I now have to run back to the caravan. Our caravan's one less man, two less man and woman guarding. It's vulnerable just because you couldn't tell us. Communication, that's all I asked.
Well, would have been a lot easier if you all were part of the Black Network. Then I wouldn't know that I could trust you, but at least I would know that you weren't playing me false. But I think from what I've seen, you and your group are people of your word. Very well. Do you want some help burying him again, or are you going to insist on inspecting the wounds?
I told you, Jamna, I hear what you're saying. I still don't trust you, so I will continue my investigation. If you want to hang out with me, that's fine. I will be traveling back after I'm done gathering food for us. So do what you will.
Very well. And she climbs up into the tree, and she just sort of finds a little crook, and she sort of leans back against the branch, crosses her arms, and just sort of watches you while you continue to dig out the body and inspect the wound. And when you get the body all dug up, she says, "Watch your foot." And when she sees that you're looking at her, she takes her sword out and she tosses it so that the hilt is kind of facing your direction, and it lands on the ground next to you.
I tried to catch it, so I assume I cut myself.
Well, okay, you didn't roll a 1, so we're gonna say that you try to look cool catching it, but you close your hand a little early, you hit the hilt, and it bounces off, and she says, "Butterfingers."
I'll just ignore her and continue on.
Okay, and yes, indeed, you do recognize he has a deep wound right between the 5th and 6th rib in the back, right next to the backbone, that has cleanly gone in and punctured a lung and probably punctured his heart as well.
All right. I'll just nod my head. I'll check his person. See if there's anything. Does he have any clothes that would align him with the cultists?
No, he's been buried in his small clothes. You can tell that at some point he probably had a chain around his neck, but that's been taken. Looks like at some point he had maybe a ring on his hand, but that's been taken. The cultists probably stripped him of everything that had any value before they buried him. Doesn't even have any shoes on, just small clothes.
I'm going to take her little blade and kind of throw it blade down into the ground at the bottom of the tree she's nestled in and say, I'm done here. Like I said, I'm going to look for food on my way back. Why don't you head back and, be some at least security for the caravan.
She says, suit yourself. And she hops down from the tree, takes her blade, puts it back in the hilt. She does clean it off, pull out an oil rag and cleans it off, and then puts it in the hilt, and then she starts making her way back towards the road, and you can hear her just sort of whistling as she walks away.
Next time you want to kill somebody, at least let us know. I'd appreciate it.
And she turns around and she gives you a grin, and she says, "Oh, you'll be the first to know."
And yeah, I'll just make my way back slowly, gathering food along the way to feed the boys when I get back.
Okay. All right. Well, you do make your way back, and okay, let's go ahead. And this is on the 25th of Kythorn. And on the 30th of Kythorn, indeed, you crest a rise, and as the road goes down before you, you see the southern gates of Waterdeep there before you. And you notice this is a huge city. Waterdeep dwarfs Baldur's Gate in terms of size. You could probably fit 3 or 4 Baldur's Gates inside Waterdeep. And there is this big mountain on the eastern side of Waterdeep, and there's a castle up there and a tower up there. And there are enormous statues that dot the city. There's like 6 or 7 of them that you can see, including a big statue of a griffin that's probably must be at least 20 feet tall from the feet to the shoulders, sitting on the shoulder of that mountain over there. Big castle down there, and then a huge harbor where just a big bustling port kind of off on the north side of the city, northwestern side of the city. And it's just, as you look down the road, you see that there's probably, you guys crest that hill somewhere before midday, and you can see that there's probably at least 2 miles of caravans that are stopped at the gates, that are going through whatever kinds of things they have to do for merchants to get into the city. There's probably merchant tax, caravan tax, things like that they have to take care of. And so you know that a lot of the time of this day is going to be just sitting around waiting to get into the gates of Waterdeep. And indeed, as the midday passes, and the word comes from the caravan master, encouraging everybody just to eat from your rations and not to try to make a camp, not this close to the city, because you will move occasionally as each caravan is allowed into the city, and you probably don't have time to really set up, make a fire, and then when your caravan moves up, and so it'll go up, maybe 150, 200 paces, and then stop and wait for the next caravan to have to go through, and then moves up another number of paces and stop and wait. Your caravan is probably one of the larger caravans that's coming into the city on this particular day. And there's, as you see that there's kind of an outer city that rings the wall, sort of shanty town type of thing. And there's all sorts of markets out there, people selling goods, lots of locals. They're like trying to sell stuff to caravan people, like food and things like that, and telling people that the food they can buy here is a lot cheaper than what you'll find inside the city, because the prices in the city are very high. This is what these people tell you. The folk who come here a lot say that, they point out a couple of those vendors and they say, okay, well, the pastries that you can find at that stand are pretty good, but stay away from that other stand because the meat pies they have will make you sick. And they also sell like grog out of there, and some of the soldiers who are on the caravan a lot, they'll tell you, okay, this is good grog, and this other, no, don't do that. You might, if you could buy any of that, just plan to sort of take the rust off of your armor with that stuff instead of drinking it, because it's no good for drinking. But as the shadows begin to lengthen in the afternoon, and afternoon passes on towards evening, you will eventually get into the city of Waterdeep. Okay.
Wow, guys, this place is huge.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a thing before. It's quite marvelous.
You're not joking. And I thought Phandalin was big. Jesus, Baldur's Gate was big, but wow, whoa. Them statues, man. God, could you imagine? Must took forever to build those.
And, you guys are there, and some of the merchants will tell you, yes, they call Waterdeep the City of Splendors. And when you mention the statues, one of the merchants will say, yes, they call those the traveling statues, don't you?
No, my friend, enlighten me. What do you mean traveling statues?
Well, it's said that they are under the control of the Blackstaff. And he points to the tower, that the big tower that stands up on one shoulder of the mountain. He says that there is Blackstaff Tower, founded by Hallister Blackstaff, the first Archmage of Waterdeep himself. And it's said that when the city was attacked, the Blackstaff created 7 animated statues, each 100 feet high, and made them as wards and protectors of the city. Now, they stand motionless until the city of Waterdeep comes under attack from outsiders. But then, the current Blackstaff knows the secret commands to make them come to life and defend the city.
Yeah, I'd be terrified. I don't think I could come up against a big, crowd of statues like that. No, I'm good.
Wise young man. Now, if you're going to be spending any time in Waterdeep, I have to recommend going to the Yawning Portal. It's the most famous tavern and inn in all of the Sword Coast. And it sits right over the mouth of a well that goes all the way down into Undermountain itself. Undermountain, the dungeon that Hallister Blackstaff himself made deep below the Mount Waterdeep. You have to go. You have to sample some of Durnan's finest ale. And if you've got the guts, Durnan will even let you pay a gold and get lowered down into Undermountain. And who knows if you'll come back up.
Well, we'll have to take you up on the nice trip to the Undermountain some other time, guys. I know that sounds fun, but I think we'll do that. We'll take a rain check on that one, but we have other business. But that might be a good place to rest our head. But thank you for the advice, friend. We really appreciate that. And I toss him a gold.
Oh
Man.
Thank you. Well, suit yourself.
Man, if I could play at the Yawning Portal, that would be quite the honor. I've heard many stories of that place.
From
Might be a
hearing,
little
your, from hearing your performances, fellas, here, I'm sure they'd be honored. I think that's our destination.
I heard that place is packed and it has all walks of life and just a real kind of a bard's dream.
Maybe we can talk to this Durnan guy. Durnan? Maybe we can talk to him and maybe we can get you a little performance time. Might make quite a bit of coin doing that.
Remember why we're here, Mulek and Thaldur. We need eyes on what happens with that treasure after we reach inside here.
Yeah,
I have a plan for that. I've been talking with Mulek about it, but also I have another plan.
I've got a different idea as well.
Yeah, I might need to go before we rest our heads this evening. Visit two places. I need to go visit the porter's office, and I need to visit my local establishment, should I say, in every city I come to.
And Thaldor, I'm thinking I've got an easier plan. If I could locate a shop that deals in arcane items, I could probably unload these, make some type of trade and, disguise myself as one of these, as the cultist leader. So that if anyone asks questions or happen to, track these items back to, whatever magic shop I'm able to trade them at and question anyone, all he would know is that he met with someone who looks eerily similar to the cultist leader of the Caravan.
I think we might be able to help each other out there. I see where you're going, and I might be able to have some outside force help in that.
It's a good point you make about the magical shops. I think this is the big city we've seen thus far and will be for a long while. If you guys need to buy anything, I have some spare coin. Just let me know.
I'm good on that. I appreciate that, Brock, by the way. If you need anything, just come and see me. Mulek, and if you definitely need anything, don't be afraid to ask. Ballinger, if you're a little light, I got you. So,
well, I wonder how much money I can make at that Yawning Portal. I mean, there's a lot of money going around. Big shot callers and adventurers run through that place. That's what I hear.
True. What would I know, DM? What would I know about through my studies and learnings? What would I know about Waterdeep?
You can make me a history check, and everybody can make me a perception check.
Not much.
All night. I'm dead tired.
Okay. Well, okay, good.
Oh no! I watched that dice roll from a 19 to a 1. That just made me sad.
Well, you guys are, talking, the merchants come to you and they pay you off. So I'd have to go back to my notes, or probably actually have to go back and listen to see what I told you each of you got hired at. So I hope you all wrote it down.
Thaldor and I got 60 gold for the trip.
Okay. All right. So 60 gold, and then whatever Faerun got and whatever Brock got.
You did right. Discord. You just got to find it.
Okay. But you notice that the merchants all begin kind of heading off towards different markets. But Mulek and Faerun, the two of you notice that the 5 cultist wagons do not make for these markets. They, in fact, stay on what would be known as the tradeway, and what is known beyond Waterdeep as the Long Road. And they go like straight north through the city, heading towards the north gate without really much of any pause. So they're distinctive enough to your eyes because you all worked for the person who made these wagons that you can pick these wagons out. They're not going to get lost, but you see that they're heading off, so you can go ahead and get your payment and not be rude to the people that are paying you. But if you want to figure out where they're going, you'll probably want to follow them sooner rather than later.
So how much did we get paid? I'm sorry. First question. Second question. Do we know about how long they're going to be sticking around on camping around the train weed?
Sounds like they're not sticking around. Looks like they're leaving immediately.
Do I hear this conversation?
No, this is me asking the DM. I'm not.
I was talking about Mulek.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I would have told Brock, and I would have told everyone if they didn't notice. I'm like, hey, those cultist guys, they're not stopping. They're continuing on. So we might want to hurry and maybe acquire some horses or something, and kind of follow these cultists from a distance.
Well, I was going to say, if they're trying to get it here at night, is it evening when we rolled in, DM, or morning?
No, by the time you guys got through the gates, it was like mid-afternoon. You all got to the inn before noon, but you did not, with waiting for all of the caravans before you to get in. It was mid-afternoon before you guys got in. All right, so let's take a quick peek here. Yeah, this is lesson for you, Faerun, is always make notes for yourself.
Well, I might have already done it. I just wasn't sure if we made extra or something.
No, that we were each hired by different either merchants or lawyers, and there was an agreed upon rate.
Oh yeah,
we made rules so everyone's different.
Yeah.
The only one that made less was Brock. So whatever you guys made, I made.
Yeah, we need a separate channel for NPC name.
I remember that. Yeah, NPC names. We need just a channel for
game and
game NPC or just game knowledge or something. I don't know. And type it there, Galley, instead of in the main Discord. That'd be awesome. I know that's a pain in the ass, but it would be really great for us. If you feel like you want to keep typing stuff out, then at least we can just go back and find it.
Okay.
I'm looking in the main chat. Hold on.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So
me
the you make whatever money you make. Then
It was Falliger got 10 gold per day, so that would be 60, and Brock got 8 gold
per 10 day.
Per 10 day. Sorry, per 10 day. Yeah.
Yeah. So it works out to be a gold a day. So yeah, 60 gold for you, and then 8 gold per 10 day. Yeah, was 48 gold for the trip for Brock. All right.
Well, go ahead.
So that was the first question, and then, like you said, these guys look like they're moving towards the northern gate. Now, in terms of what you guys would know about the city, somebody did a history check for me, and that wasn't very good.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Wasn't very.
You know that it's Waterdeep is known as the City of Splendors. It is a really wealthy town. It's probably the most wealthy town in the entire Sword Coast. There is one bit of unusual thing about the government, and it's something that's so unusual it's kind of talked about and people know about it. It is governed by a series of 21 lords. Now, there is one lord who is known as the Open Lord of Waterdeep. And he or she is a public figure that is, for all intents and purposes, kind of like the mayor. But then there are 20 what they call masked lords of Waterdeep. And these are people whose identities are secret. And you never know when the masked lords change. And when they meet in council, the masked lords all wear magical vestments that completely cover them head to toe, make them all look like they are of an identical height, and even alter their voices so that they all sound exactly the same.
Kinda
So
creepy.
the idea is that nobody's supposed to know who the masked lords are, and there's some reason that Waterdeep hit on that, but you don't remember why that is. Maybe if you had a drink at the Yawning Portal, somebody there would tell you.
Would Mulek be able to do a history check since I'm kind of from a little bit ways north of here?
Yeah, anybody who wants to could do a history, see if you guys know
not much better.
more about this.
That's only 12.
Yeah. So the there's you guys can follow at a discreet distance. Waterdeep is just bustling. It's packed. And the cultist wagons go past several large bazaars. This main road, every now and then, there are huge town squares that are usually cobbled. Some of them are like grassy greens off to the sides. And at each one of these places, you see they are ringed by vendors with stalls and things, and people hawking wares, and people are there shopping during the day. Very bustling activity, and you pass by whole quarters of town where it looks like nobles must live because there's these big fancy houses, and then you go by other places where there's every place you go by, there's the sound of like hammers or, you know, banging on anvils or banging on wood or things like that. So whole areas where people are just working very hard. There's places that look like they're given over to shops of all kinds, like everything from magic to clothing to whatnot. And you keep going to the north side of the city, and you find that they eventually go to a stable on the north side of Waterdeep. And as they get to this stable, the stables are adjacent to some warehouses, and you see the warehouse doors open, and you see that in the warehouses there are numbers of other wagons, and the cultists take their wagons and go into these warehouses, and then the doors to the warehouses get closed, and the horses are led out and taken over to the stables. And it looks like they are going to stop here, but who knows for how long.
I wonder if we can sabotage the wagons, or if I could hire somebody real quick to do that so it takes shade off us.
Well, if we're going to, if they continue north, easier for us to sabotage them out during the travels than the middle of this warehouse. There's probably a ton of them hanging around.
Well, there's a reason I say that. The reason I say that is if you wanted to stay here tonight, if they're planning on leaving in the middle of the night, we gotta get some rest. I'm thinking,
we could keep watch. Maybe have two of us keep watch while the other two go and get whatever they wanted to get done. And if they end up taking off, we could scratch a message somewhere.
That's fair.
If I was to speak my mind, I'd say at this point, we can capture them, kill them if need be, find out who their contacts are, where they're going. That's why we're here. What I would like is to capture that treasure, send it back south to the monks of Candlekeep. That's the reason we're still here.
Well, did we see how many cultists are in this warehouse? There's only 4 of us.
Yeah, there's 4 of you. The 5 wagons you saw go in there, you probably give me a quick perception check so I can see how accurate your count is going to be.
Or I was thinking we just kill the ones guarding the wagon and send it south immediately with the trusted, the 2 men that came to us before, maybe.
Gods don't like me tonight.
Yeah, Mulek, you would swear that you saw at least probably 15 to 18 other wagons in there. So if there's going to be a single caravan, it's probably going to be mostly cultists, and there's going to be quite a few of them that are...
So have the cultist caravans that were traveling with us already went inside that warehouse?
Yeah, they are. And, Thaldor has been watching these guys for the whole 2 months they've been coming up. So he is good with the faces and everything. And he notices in a let's see, I like that. He notices that they all eventually, after they take the wagons into the warehouses. After they put the horses in the stables, they all start to make their way over to a place that is maybe a couple of blocks away from the yawning portal. And the place that these guys go is called the Happy Hatchet Tavern. And it looks like a rather seedy place, and kind of raucous. And the bouncers that are outside the place look like they probably could just as easily be doing time somewhere. It's the sort of place that seems to attract undesirable.
Did we all notice that, or is that only what I saw?
No, that's
We all.
I guess that's mainly what Faldor would see, because he's been watching these guys, and he recognizes faces maybe a little bit better than the rest of you.
So I would say that they're staying about a couple blocks away from the yawning portal, so they've packed their stuff up for the night. I imagine they're going to try to make their trip at first light. So, but at the same time, in order for them to travel through the city, DM, wouldn't they need the porters to help travel through the city, or can they take their own stuff through Waterdeep?
No, the porters, that's only in Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
In Waterdeep, they don't have those kind of restrictions. There is the code legal in Waterdeep, but Waterdeep is a city that encourages commerce and is and wants to be a hub of commerce. Baldur's Gate has a reputation of being a city that kind of leeches off of commerce, as opposed to being a hub of commerce.
All right, gotcha.
Did Tyler mention the fact that there's a warehouse full of 18 wagons, or is that still not known?
No, so I would have shared that. I saw them go in. So we just followed about 5 wagons, right, in our caravan. They just pulled into a warehouse that has about 15 to 18 wagons. So there are 3 times as many. They probably came up with other caravans that are gathering here, probably going to travel up all together, continuing northward. So we're not dealing with only the cultists that were in our caravan. We're talking about 3 times as many, possibly continuing northward from here.
We know they're heading north, and we know that we're probably the most southern caravan. So this is the end of the road, I think. They should be moving soon.
I think we need to prepare probably to follow them. I don't think we can take any action here.
We've got to be able to do something here. There's got to be something we can do, because I like what Brock was saying. We need to do something. I don't know, so rash as to just kill them all, because Lord knows we'd have the city guard probably all over our ass.
Well, Thaldor, remember that stag told us that we're on the right path to continue following.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to keep in our main goal. Our main goal is to find out where all this treasure is going. We don't have to have all these individuals alive to do so. And again, I want to reiterate the fact that our monks down in Candlekeep saved our lives. I'd like to see them paid back.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of a journey, and
no, we don't take that journey ourselves. We hire trusted guards to take one wagon full of treasure. The 2 men that brought themselves to us in the camp a few nights before, I think, would be perfect for that. Actually, we can make it happen.
So you're saying you want to break out one wagon full of treasure and send it south, then?
For multiple reasons. One, again, the monks of the Candlekeep need to be repaid, and I'd like to see them well off. For 2, I think that the people in charge of this situation, they know we're here. I think it'd be nice to send them a message that we know that they know that we're here.
I like the double entendre. I might need to get some outside help with that. I mean, I have some friends in low places. Mulek knows what I'm talking about. I might be able to get some assistance, and it ain't like I ain't got the coin. And my uncle's name carries a little bit in certain places. Let me talk to some people, and it wouldn't take me very long. See if I can get some outside help to, commandeer. I wouldn't say thieve. Commandeer one of these wagons, and we can get that done. And we can use your buddies to take the wagon south and hire a guard to go with them. I'll pay for it. We just need to get it done.
I'll go speak to them. Let's keep to our same watches.
Yeah, I would like to get to some kind of arcane shop if I've got time before we leave.
We should. I mean,
Yeah.
What did you have to say?
Well, we know the cultists are on to us, right? And they're separate. They're going to keep going by themselves. And the caravan stopped here, right? So, I mean, we're going to have to follow them eventually. But maybe we should stock up on some supplies and stop by the Yonder portal. Maybe try to get some information. Just what's going on in the surrounding areas. Maybe if there's some extra work or rumors or anything like that, maybe I can make some coin by putting on some performances.
that might lighten them up too. You never know. We might see a few of the cultists in the yawning portal.
Right. Because I feel like we're going to have to just kind of shadow those cultists from here on out because we don't have the disguise of a caravan. Unless there's another one coming out going north.
I fully believe that we were the last caravan here. Again, this is the biggest city we've seen and we'll see probably for a long time, if not ever. You guys need to tighten up your gear, I think.
And I think if we're going to split up, we need to stick to. I don't think any of us should go off alone.
2-man teams.
Yeah.
And as you all are talking, two things come to mind. The first thing is you notice that there's a lot of places where there are public notice boards around this city, and it seems like almost like at every intersection there is a post, and on this post it's got the name of the crossing streets, but it also has sort of a place where notices can be tacked. And there's one notice that seems to be repeated in almost every place that you look. And it's really kind of hard to miss. And so that notice is something called the Code Legal. And I am sharing it with you on your screen so that you can see it. And you notice that this is a, kind of a notice to everybody who is both living in the city and probably more importantly passing through about how seriously they take their laws here in Waterdeep. So, first of all, they have a list of all the punishments: death, exile, flogging, hard labor, imprisonment, fine, damages, an edict. And then there are categories of crimes against lords, officials, and nobles, crimes against the city, crimes against the gods, and crimes against citizens. And the first crime against citizen, assaulting a citizen, imprisonment up to a 10-day, flogging, and damages up to 1,000 gold pieces. So and then the different punishments and crimes go on from there. So this is a thing to keep in mind if you want to seek any retribution, if you will, against the cultists while you're here in Waterdeep.
Yeah, there goes your plan, Brock, of murdering them all, even though we'd be justified on that. Yeah.
One, they don't know if you don't get caught. For two, the guards in the town could be erased quickly.
Now you're starting to sound like me. That's scary. I like it, but that's scary.
I'm just speaking the truth. I know how these things work.
I need to have a conversation with some people that would know loopholes, should I say, around this. I think me and Mulik need to go do what we need to do. How about you and Falliger go to the Yawning Portal and see if you can pry information if you see any cultists?
I think Falliger needs to take a trip to the nearest magical shop, but then yes, we will visit that inn.
And a voice pipes up and says, "Yeah, I'm pretty good at getting information in public places too." And you see Jamna is not far away.
I talked to her in Thieves' Cant. I asked her where the Thieves Guild is.
Oh, and she says, "Oh, follow me. I've got to make a report myself." And she says back into you.
Right. I'm gonna look to Felder and say, "Wait, I want to make sure that we've got time to visit and close up for the night."
We do. Let me talk to Jimna real quick. These can again. I kind of word that to her. It's like, hey, he has to run an errand. Do we got time?
And she says, from what I can tell, those fools in the Happy Hatchet are going to be drinking themselves to a stupor. So they're not going anywhere before the morning. Looks like you guys probably have at least the night.
I just want to make sure. I don't know how late the magic shops stay open. That's my concern.
It is Waterdeep, and there are shops that, well, you guys would know this with the crappy history rolls you've been rolling. There are shops where the signs are illuminated by magic, and they flash in different colors all night long. And there's always a continual light going in the windows.
So that's not the red light district.
Nope. It's like, you have places where if you really need fresh baked bread at 3:00 in the morning, you can find it in Waterdeep. If you really need a +1 short sword at 2:30 a.m., you can find it.
Mulik.
Yeah, Brock.
Can you see or hear through your bird's eyes or ears?
Yes, but I'm limited in distance. I've got to be pretty close. So.
How close?
100 feet.
Because it's okay. This is a big ass town, so 100 feet is nothing compared to this town, right?
Correct.
Is there any other way that we could speak?
Nobody has 3rd level spells yet, so no.
What about your little animals from your bag? How long do they last?
I don't know if pulling out one of my animals in town would.
Oh, there is an addendum to, because it's my version of the universe, I have to be consistent. There is an addendum to the Code Legal that's here in Waterdeep, that some adventurers found out when they were in Port Nyanzaru. There is a crime against having what would be considered wild or exotic animals in the city. That is punishable by fines and jail, and if it injures or kills somebody, carries some of the same penalties as murder.
Okay, if we can't speak, Mulek, do you have maybe a sign, a light in the sky to give notice?
Ooh.
No.
I mean, Brock, I can get you a message. Trust me. If I'm going where I think I'm going, which Jemna knows the way, trust me, I can get you a message quicker than you can imagine.
Okay, well, you two stick together. I'll stay with Felisier. If things are bad on our end, you're not going to know.
I'll know. Trust me. I have my ways. I'll make sure. There'll always be somebody watching you in this city. I can tell that already. Can I, DM, would I know if I can see like little, other thieves just walking around the city? Can I point them
out? No.
They're that good.
They blend in pretty well. I mean, the people that operate here, they have to put up with the code legal, and whatnot. So we're going to say that two of the people going off somewhere is going to be Thaldor and Jamna. So we're going to start with them, and then we'll come back and we'll deal with everybody else. So Thaldor and Jamna, they start to head off towards the Thieves Guild, and you get about a block, and Jamna suddenly gives a sharp tug on the leg of your trouser, probably about the middle of your thigh, and just cocks her head over to an alley. And there's like a look of concern on her face. Like, you need to get over here to this alley with me, is what she's trying to say.
I follow.
Okay.
Is it Mulek's with Thaldor too?
Yeah,
Mulek's with me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're going with them. Okay. All right. Yeah. So she
seen some of the dirty life.
She pulls you guys over there, and she once again fingers to her lips, and then two fingers to her eyes, and then points the fingers across the road to ask you to look over in that direction. And I need you both to make perception checks, and you can make them with advantage because you're being something is being pointed out to you. Oh, okay, good. You guys notice something. You guys notice something weird. Across the street from you are a series of multi-story buildings. And there are eaves from the roof on those buildings. And you see bobbing along underneath the eaves of a couple of those buildings, you see a floating sphere. And it's a sphere that looks like it's about not quite a foot in diameter. So maybe for reference sake, for the player's reference sake, maybe the size of a soccer ball. And it's got 4 little wiry appendages coming out of the top of it. And at the end of each of those little appendages is an eyeball. And right in the middle of the sphere, in the direction that it's floating, is a larger eyeball.
Would I know what that is?
You can make a. Let's see.
A nature check?
It seems so overused. Well, yeah, Yeah, make a nature check. Make a nature check. Let's see if you know what the hell that thing is.
I mean, I
17.
know what it is, but does Mulek know?
That's what I'm saying. I know what it is, but does Faldor know?
Yeah, Faldor will go ahead and say that we'll go ahead and say that you no, let me see what was the stupid thing. I think that was out of
Metagame. I know metagame. I know what it is because it's Xanthar. It's a beholder, or it's just a beholder.
Well, no.
Really?
Not exactly. It is a what the hell?
I
So
learned
it's
something new today.
not in Mordenkainen's. It's gotta be in Volos. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. Where is this?
But it looks like a beholder.
Is it a gazer?
It is. Let's see. Where I've got to find the stupid thing here. Come on. It is a. Oh, come on. You stupid thing, you. All right. Shazbot. There's
Faldor, what is that thing?
There's a gazer, and then there's another one.
It looks like a beholder, but it's too small. It's
like a beholder can.
I can't. I can make it out, but I can't. I know what it might be. It's on the tip of my tongue. I know, like I said, it looks like a beholder. I don't think it has as many eye stalks as a beholder, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Actually, you're right. It is a gazer. Okay, so it's a gazer, which is the tiniest beholderkin.
Gotcha.
And it is it just is sort of floating along, and its eye stalks are kind of just looking like they're sort of just watching what's going on the road, and it's moving in a way that you can tell it's trying to be stealthy and not draw attention to itself. And so you guys watch it pass by that building and pass by the next building, and then it turns a corner to go away from you down another street. And then Jamna looks at you and says, "Well, that's instructive. That must mean that the Xanathar is on the lookout for something. I've been told that the Black Network may be in danger here in Waterdeep, but I hadn't quite believed it much myself."
So yeah, that was a gazer, by the way, Mulek.
Gazer. Okay. Yeah,
it was on the tip of my tongue.
I mean, I'm surprised they let something like that in there.
Well, as you noticed, it was trying to be sneaky, but I guess it wasn't too sneaky. And as Jimna said, Xanathar? Who's Xanathar?
Oh, the Xanathar is the crime lord that runs the. Basically, he believes that everything under the streets of Waterdeep belongs to him. The Black Network holds sway over the entire Sword Coast. So you might say that in Waterdeep, there's a bit of a turf war between the Zentarum and the Xanathar Guild.
Got you.
And you can tell people who are loyal to the Xanathar by their tattoo. And just in case you didn't know it, the Xanathar is himself a beholder.
Wow, that'd be whoa. I feel like that'd be interesting to see. I don't want to get on his bad side, but that'd be interesting to see.
Well, let's just say if anybody knows that I am with the Zentarum, and if you're seen with me, that'll automatically put you on the Xanathar's bad side.
I think we'll keep that to ourselves.
Yeah, that's probably best.
Thaldor, I'm nervous to look at anything that's got more eyes than.
That's fair, Mulek. Yeah, I guess we need to keep moving.
Yeah, we're just a couple of blocks away. And so she takes you to a shop, and it's actually a bakery. It's a fairly nondescript bakery, and you go in, and she greets the baker in Thieves' Cant, and the baker gives a little sign, and she flashes a sign back to him, and he kind of cocks his head towards you all, and she says in Thieves' Cant, they're good, they're with her. And so then he says, oh, well, come with me, you can help me get some of the dough ready to put in the oven. And he leads you back into the back preparation area. And then he opens a little side door that just is like a little secret door on the side. And Jamna waves you guys in, and you all go in there, and then the baker closes the door behind it. And now you find yourself, Thaldor, in the familiar surroundings of a Thieves Guild office. And basically there's a person over there, and here the person is a half-elf, and this half-elf is a female, and her name is she goes by Wolme. And I'm gonna put this in here.
Oh my! I say that under my breath.
Okay.
I think Thaldor's a little smitten.
Okay, so Wolme, she looks up, and Jamna flashes her a sign, and she flashes a sign back, and Jamna says, well, things have certainly changed since the last time I was here. For instance, I didn't know that the Xanathar has gazers watching the city. And Wolme puts her head in her hand and, shakes her head, kind of rubs her temples a little bit, and says, oh, yes, he's all hot and bothered. There were some trade negotiations that have been going on, and they haven't been going well. And tensions are a bit high between the Black Network and the Xanathar Guild. We do our best to try to just lay low and try to stay neutral. But I take it you have network business? And she says, yes, I do, but I will talk to you about that in private. Meanwhile, my friend here, she points to Thaldor, is here on normal guild business, Thieves Guild business, that is. And Wolme looks at you and says, well, how can I help you?
So, Wome, one, I should have a message waiting for me from the Fanelin Thieves Guild. That'd be from my uncle, Dorsafir, but that's back burner business. Mulek, you could recognize those wagons from a mile away, could you not? I mean, well, we've rode with them the whole way, but I need to know that you can, if I hire this group of people to commandeer said wagon, do we know which one has a good amount on it so that we can get that sent back to where we need it sent to?
Well, I'm only familiar with the 5 that we came up with, and
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
One of those is fine.
I could describe what those look like. I'm fairly familiar with those wagons.
And Wolme holds up her hands and says, whoa. Pardon, friend. You walk into my chapter of my Thieves Guild in my city, and the first thing you want is for us to steal a wagon for you? Who are we stealing this wagon from? What does it have? And most importantly, who owns it?
Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay. So, how can I word this? Let's see. So, the wagon is not really owned by anybody. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It needs to be commandeered from some cultists of, let's see, Tiamat. It needs to be delivered to, what's that, the monks? Candlewood? What is it, monks? I would know this. Brock just said it.
Candlekeep.
The Candlekeep monks. And as payment, you can take, let's see, 5%. I will try to, yeah. So you can keep 5% of what's on that cart as payment. Plus, I will give you a little down payment now for the job. But it needs to be done. There's no other questions about it. But we have 2 people that can drive the cart, but I will pay your men to take it from here safely to to the city.
And she says, she strokes her chin, and then she starts to enumerate off on her fingers. She says, okay, so the cart is currently in the possession of cultists who are loyal to Tiamat. We're talking about Tiamat, dragon goddess, 5 heads, fire, acid, lightning.
Yeah. That'd be correct.
This has treasure for Tiamat in it, or what?
Well, it was stolen treasure, so imagine this like taking back what belongs to somebody else, and you could keep 5% of the gold.
Stolen treasures. So I don't suppose that you would have any idea how they went about stealing these treasures, would you?
There's some things I can keep secret to myself, just as the Black Network keeps secrets of their own.
And Jamna looks at you, and she's got her arms crossed beneath her breasts. And she's kind of got that look like she's getting a little impatient with you. And then the Wome says, so we are supposed to steal this. We are supposed to keep 5% of this. We are supposed to put it in the hands of your 2 men who can drive it back to Candlekeep. And then Jamna looks at her and shakes her head and says, he's mad. You want to know how they stole this treasure? Well, I've heard stories. I've talked to enough people, and I can tell when someone is telling you something because they are scared to death. The way I hear it, they are using full-grown dragons to go attack towns when they steal this treasure. So, yes, go ahead and steal this treasure that a dragon stole, and then have a dragon angry at you. That sounds like a perfectly reasonable plan. And Wolmay cuts her eyes to Jamna, and then cuts her eyes uh, back to Thaldor, and she just lifts an arm and she just points at the door, and she says, "Out." She says, "If there's a message for you, I will see that it gets passed along to another city. But know that you are not welcome in the Thieves Guild here in Waterdeep. Go, before I get angry."
That's sad. He's gonna get paid, but hey,
Well, getting paid isn't worth much if you're dead.
wouldn't be dead because see, there's something she's not telling you, by the way. Okay, because I was there. Thank you, Jimna. Okay, you can get mad all you want. Cross your little arms. Don't hurt my feelings any, because you've done pissed me off now. Let me explain this to you. Okay, they paid the dragon to attack the city. It wasn't the dragon doing its own bidding, by the way. So it's not going to know about this little cart, is it? And it wouldn't know anything about it because we're not paying the dragon to attack the city. So this would be out of sight, out of mind. Come on, we do this for a living. Come on. Out of sight, out of mind, they'll never know. They'll never know that it was gone. They'll never know that it's missing, okay? And 5% of something is better than nothing. Plus down payment out of my pocket.
You're right. They're never going to know it's missing because, as far as we're concerned, it's not going to be missing. If you want to steal this wagon, you are welcome to do so. Good day. And she snaps her fingers, and
We're leaving. I grab Mulek. Come on, we're leaving. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. So you guys get out of there and head off to wherever Mulek. Yeah. Wherever Mulek needs to go. Before we do that, let's circle back to Brock and Falliger. So Brock and Falliger, what are you guys doing?
We're walking down a road, a lonesome road. So, fellas, you're quite the ladies' man.
I mean, I guess.
You ain't gotta mean nothing, brother. I see it. I've seen it. I've heard it. We need to, you know what I mean, push that envelope a little bit more. You're kind of handsome and all, but you're kind of getting a little bit dusty, if I do say so.
Oh, you think I need a bath? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Nah, let's not go that far, brother. I think that it's time to update you to the newest thing. You're a bit outdated. And he kind of like traces a finger across your chainmail. You're wearing chainmail, right?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Kind of traces a finger across your armor.
What am I wearing? Equipment. Yep, chainmail.
And he pulls out his +1 battle axe with his magical shine and kind of shows it to you. You see, a great man can be a great man, but a great man with some magic can be a greater man. You know what I'm saying? You got some coin on you, brother.
Yeah, I got some money on me.
I got some coin on me as well, and I don't have any use for it. So let's go get you updated. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I think that you need to do something with that armor, brother. You're kind of loud and not so ladies' man like, if you will. Let's go clean you up, yeah?
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right. And so, as the camera pulls back from the street outside of the yawning portal, where we see Brock and Falliger talking, and Falliger sort of gazing towards the doors of the yawning portal, his hand kind of idly on the neck of his guitar. And we see on the split screen, we see Mulek and Faldor heading down the street towards a magic shop. The scene fades out, and we have reached the end of this particular session. And the importance of this session, other than the fact that this is session 20 of our game, is that since you have reached Waterdeep, between this time and next time we play, you can all level up to level 5.
Oh,
Nice. I am so mad right now. I am fuming over here. You just don't understand.
why are you mad?
I'm so furious.
Oh yeah.
Did I miss something? What?
Well, I guess maybe Falliger can teach you a little bit about tact.
Oh no.
Wait, what happened?
We're not together. We can't talk about it like
No,
that. We can
I'm
talk about it
talking-
out of game.
I'm talking to you as a player. What did I miss?
Oh Lord. Just the oh God. That was a train wreck from hell right there. It wasn't much Thaldor's fault. It was Jemna. Like, I literally I had that feeling, like, and when she said something that only we would know, as in that she has been watching the whole time, and she knew that they had hired a dragon to take the city, or didn't hire the dragon, just had a dragon attacking the cities to take the gold, and she knew there was gold on the caravan.
Like I said 10 minutes ago in the Discord, I should have killed Jemna. I had the opportunity and I let it go.
Now she's going to tell Black. She's going to tell what is that? The Black. I'm having a brain fart. The Thieves Guild, the other one, not Xanthar's, but the other Thieves Guild. She's going to tell them about all the gold, and they're going to do something themselves to take it, or do something to stop it.
This is me speaking to you as a player. If you got to do something, do it.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right. Okay, players, we will reconvene next week, as far as I know. Do start thinking about, I know that this 2020 is a really weird year, but obviously a few weeks from tonight is going to be Thanksgiving. So I'm suspecting that even in these COVID times, most people are going to be doing something with at least their immediate family, and probably would prefer to skip D&D that night. If they're not traveling to be with other members of their family. So let me know for sure what is happening. As far as I know, I will be here. But I'm not going to ask people to play on a holiday like that. But let me know if everybody is actually not doing anything and would really like to play. We can go ahead and probably have a session, but I'm going to guess that that's probably going to be something that most people would prefer to pass on. Is there anything that anyone would like to mention? I know, Mike, you do some streaming on your channel? Anything in particular coming up between now and next Thursday that you want folks on the stream to know about?
Before Halloween, probably Friday, I'll be playing some spooky games, which that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be playing like Call of Cthulhu, maybe some Phasmophobia, just some real spooky games. So we'll have fun. But I think me and Ken here is going to have a pretty long gaming session tonight, and I will stream that. We're going to play Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition.
Okay, all right.
You have those play sessions archived on like a YouTube or something in case you get your live.
They're archived on my Twitch channel. You can go back and watch all the videos on Twitch at twitch.tv/Doors of Fear.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Anybody else have their own Twitch or YouTube that they do stuff on that they want the viewers to know about? All right. Well, hearing nothing, viewers, thank you for hanging out. Schedules are going to be a bit weird this next week. Saturday night is Halloween. Most of the players in my Saturday night game have little ones, and at least as far as we left it last week, they're planning to do things with their little ones for Halloween. So there's not going to be a game session on Saturday night. Far as I know, we will be playing Sunday afternoon, and then obviously Monster Monday. And you can find all the stuff on my YouTube channel, all of the archives of everything. I'm a little bit behind in getting stuff up on the archives, but I've got most of it up there from this campaign. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off in the stream and wish you all a very good night. Take care, viewers, and we will talk to you next time.